Hey, what's up? Just waiting for people to fill in, you know? Hey! Been a while since I've had my hair like this on both sides. Let's see. I can make this look good actually. Well, we're back with more reading today. There is only 3 chapters left, and there should be a prologue and a snippet of the next chapter as well. Let's see. Oh, sorry, there's 4 chapters left. There's 24 chapters. And then there's an epilogue, and just gonna see. Here. Oh! Oh, well, there isn't a snippet of the next book, actually. That's new to me! But yeah. And also I got some series talk after we've, read. After I finished the book. I got some serious talk. Yeah. You know, you could stay around for that if you want, or you could just leave as soon as I finished the book. If you don't want to listen to serious talking me. But yeah. Hope you have your water bottles ready. I know I do. Right here. So yeah. Ugh, my hair is a mess. My hair is a mess. The button should be working. There should be a button to donate. I'm pretty sure. Just gonna check real quick. Actually. Ooh. What? Oh, my panels are a mess. One sec. Bum 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 bum. Ah, Megalovania! I love that. Oh, there's not a button. Sorry. Just gonna real quick. Oh. Play long button. There. Ta-da-dum. There. Now let's see how it looks. Let's see. Yes! Yes, there is a button now to donate if you want to do that. Yes. Because we're broke. Every single one of us at home are broke, basically, because we got bills and stuff, and you know, everyone needed new phones this month, and our cat had to go to the vet because he had like an eye infection. That cost money, and car bills, and electricity, water, all that jazz, you know? So yeah. And you have to remember, my dad is the only one of my parents who work. And he's a school teacher, so you know how little he gets. So this is me trying not to be a burden to my parents by having a donation open, my donations open. So you can donate if you want. Anything helps. I hate asking for help. I am the worst at asking for help, and I always feel bad for asking for help. So, yay. But yeah. Let's finish this book, shall we? There's only 4 chapters and an epilogue left. That's not that bad. Chapter 21. Moon shrieked, saw the rock spear would impale the ice wing through the head or neck. The raindrops all vanished in a scream of terror from everyone in the cave. Then she'll be dead, 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 sang a voice in the rising tumult in Moon's head. But Icicle twisted out of the way at the last moment, and the stalactite shattered against the ground. There was a frozen minute of shock. Oh, that's interesting, Darkstalker mused. In most of the futures I saw, that worked and she died. This changes many things. Moon didn't have time to respond to that. The whole cave had erupted in chaos. Icicle! Winter shouted. He spread his wings and sprang toward her, fighting past the dragons who were all stampeding the other way. Icicle was staring at the spot where it had fallen, her heart pounding. Even above everyone else, Moon could hear her fury and disbelief. Who dared attack me? Still reeling, Moon turned and found that Umber, Marsh, and Sora had fled with most of the other dragons. A few moments later, no one was left in the prey center except for the 2 ice wings, Quibbly, Moon, and Clay, who had also rushed to Icicle's side. By all the moons! Clay cried. How did that happen? Are you all right? No! Icicle roared, lashing her tail. Someone tried to kill me! The niece of Queen Glacier, Quibbly thought. And then reprimanded himself. Not the time, Quibbly! What? Clay looked up at the other stalactites in the alcove. But no, surely that was an accident. How and who? That was no accident, Winter said, pointing grimly at the spot where the fallen stalactite had hung. Claw marks were clearly visible in the rock, as if someone had scraped painstakingly through the spire until it had been barely suspended, ready to fall at the lightest touch. But who? Clay said again, searching his brain. She's unfriendly, but not bad enough to kill. I'll tell you what else, Icicle spat. That bomb yesterday was probably meant for me. Too. I'm the target. Someone was trying to kill me, and I'm going to find whoever it is and turn them into a glittering ice statue, which I will then beat to smithereens with my tail. Icicle was the target all along? Quibbly and Moon exchanged looks. If she was right, what did that mean? Quibbly's brain was rapidly organizing the students into possible categories of Icewing enemies, but Moon had an awful, awful sinking feeling that she already knew who this pointed to. I feel a sneeze coming my way. And it's annoying. Because, like, I feel it's gonna come, but then it just prolongs. That feeling just prolongs, and you can't do that, and that's impossible anyway, Clay said again. No one could have known who'd be in the cave when the cactus exploded. We think it was set to happen before class started, so there was no guarantee that you'd be in there then. If it was an assassination attempt against you, wouldn't they have made sure you were there then? I was supposed to be, Icicle hissed. I'd planned to go early because I needed one of the scrolls. Just by luck, I decided to go by the underground lake first. Otherwise, I would have been in the history cave and I would now be dead. Who knew that? Winter asked. That would narrow it down. Did you tell anyone you were planning to go early? Icicle snapped her jaw shut and stared at him and Clay, her pale blue eyes glittering. Only one dragon, she thought. I only told one dragon that, so I know exactly who to kill. A freezing shiver rattled down Moon's spine. Sora. Moon turned and bolted out of the cave. I have to find her first. She didn't know exactly what she was going to do, but she had very clearly seen that Icicle planned for a clawmate. What Icicle had planned for a clawmate, and Moon knew she couldn't let that happen. Even though Sora killed Carnelian and Bigtail, even though she could have killed any of us, didn't she care? What about Umber? She would have delayed him. She would never hurt him. Sora, where are you? Moon raced through the tunnels, checking the library first. Starflight was in there, alone. He lifted his head, startled, as she sprinted through, but she didn't stop. She didn't have time to explain or ask for help. She knew Icicle would be on Sora's tail any minute, any second. In the great hall, she stopped to catch her breath and reached out with her mind. The music cave? The underground lake? The art cave? What was Sora thinking about? An image of Tamarin came through. Sora had gone back to the infirmary. Moon whirled and dashed toward that corridor. At the mouth of the tunnel, she collided with a small brown dragon, and for a confused moment she thought she'd found Sora already. You're not safe! She started to gasp and then realized it wasn't Sora. It was Umber. I'm not? What? He said. Sorry, not you. I have to. She stepped around him. Wait, Umber said. What's wrong? Moon, you have to tell him. Moon turned and saw Quibbly hurrying across the Great Hall. He'd seen her run. He knew that she figured it out, and one of the three guesses in his head was even right. But if I tell Umber what his sister did, it'll destroy him, she thought. If he even believes me. If Quibbly hadn't been there, she would have kept running. She would have dealt with Sora herself. In his mind, though, she found a lightning-fast list of reasons to tell Umber that she would never have thought of herself. He wasn't consciously sending them to her, but they were all there on the surface as he struggled with what to do. He may not understand, but he'll want to protect her. He can do that better than you can. You need someone to help you if you're planning to stand in Icicle's way. He needs to know the truth about her, the way you'd want to know if someone in your family did this. He's good and loyal. He is the only one who can help her, and if Sora is still dangerous, he may also be the only one who can stop her. Moon met Quibbly's eyes. He was right about all of that. Umber, she said, I'm sorry, I have to tell you something awful. Oh no, Umber said. His face twisted, and it was almost like his heart spoke rather than his mind. Sora Marsh Clay? We know who set the bomb yesterday, Quibbly said. And she just tried to kill Icicle, Moon said. Umber took a step back, shaking his head. No, it's not true. But he saw the pieces falling into place, and he knew it was. Pheasant thought this would be too much for her, but I thought she was stronger than this. I thought we were all better now. It was Sora, Moon said gently, and Icicle knows it too. We have to get to her before Icicle finds her, or she's dead. He didn't argue anymore. He didn't ask how they knew. He just turned and ran, and they followed. Up the winding stone tunnel, their claws scraping against the rock, their wings pulled in, their tails hitting the walls as they ran. Why would she do this? Umber kept thinking over and over in a jagged rhythm. Moon didn't know. All the things she'd learned and all the thoughts she'd read, and she'd still missed it. Quiet Sora had taught herself to bury her thoughts so she couldn't even hear them herself. So many things scared her that the only way to deal with them was to push them under and stop them from entering her brain in the first place. Just say if you can't hear me, actually. Whatever she felt about Icicle, it was hidden under all the mud, buried deep along with her nightmares and memories of the war. They burst into the healing cave. Sora was crouched by Tamarin's bedside, crying. King Kachi was not there, but she just left, Moon realized. Sora asked her to leave, so she could apologize to Tamarin. The Rainwing was still unconscious, wrapped in white bandages from tail to wings. Sora looked up and saw it in their eyes. I'm sorry, Umber, she sobbed, collapsing forward. I didn't mean for anyone else to get hurt. Oh, Sora, Umber said. He went over and put his wings around her. Sora, I love you anyway, but why did you do it? She covered her face with her claws. Don't you know who she is? Her words came in gasps, between hiccups and sobs. The flood of images from Sora's mind was inescapable. Moon felt them like a waterfall pounding along her wings, a waterfall she could suddenly see. Over an open plain with rivers running through in running through it to the ocean. A battle was raging. Brown dragons and white dragons grappled in the air, shooting fire and frost breath, roaring with fury and pain. And there was Sora, darting through the melee. Her face was set grimly. Behind her, Marsh was close on her tail, his features racked with fear. A pair of ice wings lashed out at them with their serrated claws, and Sora just managed to pull Marsh out of the way in time. They swooped around to try again. "Reed!" Sora yelled. "Help us!" A big mudwing dove toward them, swatting Ice Wings aside with his tail as he flew. But another mudwing got there first, a thin brown female that Moon had seen in Sora's mind before. She slashed one Ice Wing through the neck, and then twisted to set the other Ice Wing on fire. He flapped away, shrieking and batting at the flames along his wings. "Thank you, Crane," Marsh called. Their sister turned to smile at Marsh and Sora, and then an Ice Wing plummeted out of the sky, out of nowhere, seized Crane in her talons, and slit her throat. "No!" Sora screamed. The Ice Wing turned to give her a malicious, triumphant grin. It was Icicle. The memory faded, but the destroyed feeling hung heavily in Moon's chest. "She killed Crane," Sora sobbed into Umber's shoulder. I saw her! She's the one who killed our sister." "Sora, how can you be sure?" he asked, pulling her close. "It was a terrible battle. There were 100 Ice Wings there, and we were all fighting for our lives. Your memory could be playing tricks on you." She could be finding the enemy of her nightmares in the first Ice Wing face she saw here, he thought. Or else, if she's right, we have the worst luck in the world, ending up in the same cave as Crane's murderer. I would have lost my mind too. Moon didn't think that was true. Umber's mind was a lot more resilient than Sora's. Hey, thank you for the follow. She could see that, and now she could also see that she was not much like Sora as she thought. Perhaps they were both shy, but Sora was also fragile. Too fragile for the awful things she'd been through. "I'm afraid there may be awful things ahead for you too, little Moon," Darkstalker whispered. But I'm not fragile," Moon said. "I won't be fragile. I refuse." "I think you're right about that," he agreed. "I'm sure it was her," Sora said. "I'm not crazy, Umber. I got a scroll to look up Icewing physiognomy. I made sure she'd been on the front lines. I couldn't ask more specific questions without making her suspicious, but I knew what she did, and I couldn't let her live." "The war's over, Sora," Umber protested. This has nothing to do with the war," she said. "But what about everyone else?" Quibbly asked. "Didn't you care for if the rest of us died?" Sora couldn't meet his eyes. "I thought she'd be the only one in there. I've never used the Dragon Flame Cactus before. I expected it to go off sooner." Aw, thank you. I expected it to go off sooner, and she should have been in there. I can't believe I failed twice. She gave Tamarin an anguished look. And then the 2 dragons. And then the other 2 dragons. And poor Tamarin. But it's just collateral damage, isn't it, Umber? We learned that from the Skywing generals. He shook his head, unable to speak. And then everyone was looking at me, Sora whispered. Everyone was thinking about me and how awful I am and how much they hate me. They could see right through me. I know they could. No, Sora, Moon said. They weren't, truly. Dragons think mostly about themselves. Everyone is so worried about what other dragons think of them, they hardly stop to decide what they think of everyone else. Believe me, no one is thinking about you as much as you think they are. She'd finally realized how reassuring that was. All her self-doubt and nerves, and feeling like an outsider. Once she paid attention to what she could hear around her, it turned out those were the things that made her the most normal. It turned out that was how everyone felt. And certainly no one is thinking about you as much as you are thinking about you. Except maybe Icicle, Quibbly said abruptly. Who is coming to kill you right now? Moon jumped. She'd almost forgotten about that. We need to get you to Sunny and Tsunami so you can confess and they can keep you safe. We can't, Umber said. I'm sorry, but if we do that, Sora ends up dead. Either Icicle will find a way to kill her, or Queen Ruby will demand an eye for Carnelian. He's right, Darkstalker said. Handing her over leads to very few paths where Sora is alive 2 months from now. But otherwise, you're letting a killer go free. You hinted at this, didn't you? Moon thought, remembering. Send a friend to her death or help a killer escape. You meant Sora. We'll leave now, Umber said. I'll go with her. I'll keep her safe. And keep everyone safe from her, his mind finished the thought. But then you'll be a fugitive too, Sora said. And what about Marsh? Clay will get him back to Reed and Pheasant, Umber said. He turned to Quibbly. Please tell Clay everything. Tell him we're sorry. I know he'll understand. But if we involve him, the Queens will shut down the school. We have to leave without saying goodbye. Umber blinked back tears. Should we stop them? Quibbly was thinking. What's the right thing to do? What would Thorn do? Sora's not well, and I don't want her to be killed, but she did kill Carnelian and Bigtail, and tried to kill Icicle. But she needs to be taken care of, and where does the cycle end? If Icicle kills Sora, wouldn't Umber and Marsh be justified in killing her? And then wouldn't Winter want to kill them? Isn't the whole point that the war is supposed to be over? Replacing it with a series of vengeance killings is not going to make the world any better or safer. And then Moon heard Icicle's thoughts coming closer and closer. She made up her mind. Go, she said, stepping toward the window, a tall open hole big enough for a dragonette Sora's size to squeeze through. And fast, as far as you can. Thank you, Sora whispered. She squeezed Umber's talons and darted toward the window. At the edge, she turned to look back at Moon. It was self-defense too. Beware of Icicle, Moon. She talks about killing all the time, even in her sleep. What does she say? Moon asked. Our very first night here, Sora said. When I still wasn't sure, I was almost sure it was her, but I thought I must be mad, and I couldn't let myself sleep, because what if she did the same thing to me that she did to Crane? And then in her sleep she muttered, killing is easy enough. That's when I knew. She's a murderer, and she won't stop until someone does what I failed to do. Let's go, Umber. Let's go, Sora, Umber said sadly. Quibbly stepped forward and twined his tail around Umber's for a moment. Moon felt Umber's longing and heartbeat break, and loyalty like a physical pain in her chest. He leaned forward to give Quibbly a quick hug, and then he scrambled up after his sister. A heartbeat later, they were gone. Two small shapes winging away into the dark clouds. Moon turned to Quibbly. Realization dawned. Icicle is the one conspiring with Queen Scarlet, she said. Killing is easy enough. Moon had heard those exact words from the first Dream Visitor conversation. She noticed that the violent blizzard of Icicle's mind had veered off. She wasn't thinking about just Sora now. She was thinking about the caves where Sunny, Clay, Tsunami, and Starflight lived. We have to hurry, Moon said. She may not get to kill Sora, but that's not the only dragon she promised to kill today. End of chapter 21. Well, I certainly didn't expect, Sora to be the one setting the bombs, and I didn't expect the Icicle to be the target, and I don't know who I expected to be the culprit, but I expected it to be the same person, the same dragon as the one who was dream visited by Scarlet. But it wasn't. It was Icicle. Oh, yeah, right. They have a brother that died. Maybe Scarlet said that he's still alive and she has him. Oh. And so Icicle wants her brother to live. She wants her brother back. Ooh. Okay. Chapter 22. Moon and Quibbly ran through the winding tunnels of Jade Mountain. Dragons jumped out of the way and stared at them as they shot past. Moon caught flashes of, what's happening? And was there another fire? And should I be running too? And oi, Sandwing, watch it with that tail. She thought she saw Winter looking out of one of the caves they passed, but didn't slow down to check. Moon, stop. You can't do this. I have to stop you, Darkstalker said. This is not wise. It is not safe. I can't let you confront Icicle. There are so many ways in which it goes horribly wrong. Like she kills me? Moon asked. Are there possibilities where she doesn't kill me? Yes, but they're faint. Moon, I can't lose you. I can't sit by and do nothing, she answered back. While Icicle kills somebody who might change the future of this world? Look into those futures, Darkstalker. Without Sunny or Starflight, Clay or Tsunami, isn't the world a darker place? If this school fails, how soon are the tribes back at war? He was silent for a long moment. I see your point, but the world without you in it is also much diminished, Moon. Really? She couldn't imagine that was true. Let Quibbly go stop her on his own, Darkstalker suggested. Can he do that and survive? She asked. Honestly? He said. Maybe a 1 in 300 chance. Not good enough, she said. I need to be there. For him to survive? Darkstalker sighed. Yes, you do. She tried not to be terrified by this reminder that she was running toward her own death. She tried to just focus on the distant echoes of Icicle. Where was the Icewing going? The rage was clear enough, but her surroundings were not. Moon concentrated and heard. Not there, not here, not here. They're not in their sleeping quarters, she said between gasping breaths. She has to look for them elsewhere. She could have killed Clay in the prey center, Quibbly pointed out. So why didn't she? I think she didn't want to do it in front of Winter, Moon said, stopping and pressing on her temples. And Clay is the biggest. Maybe she wants to kill off the easiest ones first. Sunny? Sunny's not that easy to kill, said Quibbly. Starflight, they both said at the same time and whirled to race to the library. Icicle got there first. Moon and Quibbly burst in to find her silently creeping up on Starflight. Her lethally sharp claws were outstretched and her jaw was moving, calling up the deadly Icewing Frost Breath. When she saw them, her eyes widened and flicked from them to Starflight and back. The blind Nightwing was crouched in a corner, sorting scrolls by touching the stamps on the edges, but he raised his head in Moon's direction. "Starflight, look out!" Quibbly shouted. Icicle leapt forward and landed on Starflight's back. He yelled with pain, and she wrenched him around so his body was between her and the others. Her talons wrapped around his throat, and her wings pinned his to his sides. "Don't do anything stupid," she hissed. "There's a window right behind her," Quibbly thought. "If she realizes that, she could kill him and jump out before we could stop her. But right now she thinks she needs him as leverage, so we'll let her go. We'll have to distract her so I can attack. Too dangerous this way. I might hit Starflight with my tail instead of her. Search for weaknesses. Get closer if I can." "Please don't kill him," Moon said, holding out her claws. "Just let him live and we won't stop you. You can leave. Go wherever you want." "I promise," Starflight said, his voice hoarse with fear. "You won't have done anything wrong, Icicle. You can still go home now, but if you kill me, Queen Glacier might not take you back." "Is he right?" Icicle wondered. "She might appreciate a reason to get rid of me so I'm not a threat to her or her daughters. But if I succeed and Scarlet gives me what I've been promised, I'll return home a hero, no matter who I kill along the way." "You can't trust Queen Scarlet," Moon said. Icicle jerked her head around to stare at Moon. "Listen, please. Set him free, and I promise we won't tell anyone you were conspiring with her." Icicle's wings flared. "How did you know that?" she snarled. "Queen Scarlet?" said a voice behind them. "Icicle, what are you doing?" It had been winter they'd run past, and of course he had followed them. The dazzling confusion of his mind was brighter than ever. He couldn't even process what he was seeing. His sister about to kill Starflight. "Stay out of this," Icicle warned him, "unless you'd like to be helpful, in which case, go find Sunny and kill her." "What are you talking about?" Winter shouted. "Why would we do that?" "He's a weak fool," Icicle thought. Cold and clear. "Mother always said you weren't as strong or smart as Hailstorm," she spat. Winter flinched, as if he'd been struck. "I see you edging closer, Sandwing," Icicle said, glaring at Quibbly. He stopped moving. "Listen, I'll just take this librarian with me and make sure no one follows. I'll release him once I'm a safe distance away. That's the best deal you're going to get." "She's lying," Moon said. "She'll kill him as soon as she gets a chance." And Moon would know that, Quibbly thought. Icicle shot a poisonous look at Moon. "Very well. Plan B," the Icewing thought. "Multiple kills, escape in the chaos. That Sandwing is just within range of my frost breath, and then I slit Starflight's throat, break his little Nightwing neck, and go after Sunny and the others. Winter can stay and whimper over their bones if he wants to." She seemed to be focused on Moon, but her mind was waiting for Quibbly to try sneaking forward again. One step closer, Sandwing. One step now. "Quibbly!" Moon yelled, leaping at him. She shoved him out of the way as a blast of freezing air shot out of Icicle's mouth. "Get down!" Darkstalker roared in her brain. Moon felt as if he'd slammed great talons into her back and thrown her to the ground. The frost breath went over her head and caught just the edge of Moon's wing. She screamed at the sudden pain. Everything happened at once, along with a deafening thunderclap of fury and adrenaline that surged into Moon from all the dragons in the room. Winter roared and charged toward them. Starflight jabbed Icicle hard in the chest, and she let go of his neck with a grunt. But as he staggered away, she grabbed him again and smashed him into the cave wall. He crumpled to the ground with his eyes closed. Moon let out a cry and ran forward to crouch beside him. She reached out and felt the flicker of his brain dropping into unconsciousness. He was still alive. In the same moment, Quibbly threw himself at Icicle and knocked her off her feet. The Icewing and the Sandwing struggled, rolling across the floor, kicking scrolls in all directions. Quibbly stabbed his tail at her, but missed. She flung him away, so he crashed hard on top of the main desk and slid over behind it. Sorry. Seconds later, Moon was seized by cruel, cold talons and pinned to the ground. Icicle's claws wrapped around her neck. "Icicle, don't!" Winter yelled. He grabbed his sister and tried to drag her off Moon, but she was bigger than he was and too heavy to move. "You never won when we fought in the hatchery," she snarled at him. "Don't bother trying now. And for what? A couple of Nightwings? Don't you remember that we hate them? Don't you remember what they did to our tribe? To Hailstorm?" Winter froze, still clutching her shoulders. His mind slipped into the well-worn tracks Moon had heard on the first day she met him. The Nightwings killed him, and all of them, all of Scarlet's Icewing prisoners. "The Nightwings came right out of the sky and killed every last Icewing in Scarlet's mountain prison," Icicle said, "while the Icewings were still bound and chained, remember? And do you remember why? To make Queen Scarlet free, that one." She let go of Moon's neck with one talon to point at Starflight. "He's the reason they're all dead." Winter did remember. Moon could see it all flooding through his head. This was the heart of his guilt. He'd gotten his brother captured by Skywing soldiers when they went looking for scavenger dens in the mountains. So his brother had been in Queen Scarlet's prison when the Nightwings arrived to save Starflight, and they'd killed all the Icewings in a show of strength, every last one. That was why Winter hated Nightwings. "But Starflight's not to blame," Moon choked out wretchedly. "He's the kind of dragon who will stop the killing, Winter, not cause him any more. He's good inside, just like you are." His eyes, blue as Arctic oceans, stared into hers. "Good. Would you rather be good or strong?" Icicle spat at him. In response, Winter smashed his sister across the head with his tail. Icicle fell back, roaring, and Moon gasped for air. "Starflight and Moon didn't kill Hailstorm," Winter shouted. "Queen Scarlet did. She's the one who took him prisoner. He would have died in her arena sooner or later. How can you work with her? How can you work for her? How can you do anything she says?" He advanced and Icicle retreated, back toward the bank of leaf-covered windows. A trickle of dark blue blood was running down the side of her head, and from a gash near one of her horns. The same dark blue was smeared across her white shoulders, bleeding from a dozen cuts left by Quibbly's claws. She was panting heavily. "You are the worst kind of dirt-covered whale, chum," Icicle growled at Winter. "You've ruined everything." "It seems to me like you're the one who's done that," he said. "You don't understand," she said. "You idiot." Winter stopped. His wings spread menacingly. "So explain it to me," he said. "Our brother is alive, you fool," she snarled. "Queen Scarlet told me. She kept the most important prisoners in a secret, separate prison. He wasn't killed by the Nightwings, although 12 of our fellow dragons were." Moon clutched her head as agonizing spears of shock ricocheted through Winter's brain, like flying shards of a broken mirror. "Hailstorm is alive?" Winter cried. "Yes, and if I had succeeded in killing the prophecy dragonettes for Queen Scarlet, she would have given him back to me, to us," Icicle hissed. "But instead, you've killed him all over again, and now you have to live with that forever. End of chapter 22. Icicle, you bitch. Queen Scarlet is the worst kind of dragon. She doesn't have any prisoners that the Skywings did. She's on the run, basically. Hiding somewhere. She doesn't have anyone. Icicle, you dumbass. But poor Winter, he has to go through all that. He's starting to develop a crush on Moon, and he's having to fight his sister. And now he's been faced with the lie Queen Scarlet's told her. And what is he going to do now? Is he going to help her, or what? Or actually listen to his morals? Anyway, let's continue with chapter 23. Winter turned to Moon, agony written across his face. She knew what he was asking, even though his mind couldn't put it into clear thoughts yet. It's true, Moon said, scanning Icicle's thoughts. At least, that's what Scarlet has told her. Scarlet could be lying, but Icicle believes her. Why wouldn't you tell me? Winter said to his sister. Because you're worthless, she spat. And I didn't want to waste time arguing with your sensitive moral sensibilities. Sensitive moral sensibilities. She means she didn't want you... sorry, trying that again. She means she didn't want to be talked out of it, Moon said fiercely. And she knew you would try, and you might even have succeeded, because you're not worthless. You're smart and brave and capable of caring about other dragons. Is it really true, though? He said, a question not quite for either Moon or Icicle. Hailstorm, isn't that? Icicle narrowed her eyes and flicked her tail, weighing the possibilities. There's still time, she hissed at him. We could still kill the dragonets and get him back. Winter hesitated, wavering. The memories of his brother were warm and tense, loving and terrible at the same time. He missed him desperately, and he needed to atone for the guilt of losing him in the first place. But he shook his head. Not with more killing. Not for Queen Scarlet. It won't work. Fine, Icicle snarled. I hope you choke on a walrus and die. She whirled and dove out of the nearest window, tearing straight through the leaf pane and letting in a burst of too bright sunlight. Icicle, stop! Winter yelled. He ran to the window and leaned out. Come back! We can find him together! And there was no response. In the fading echoes Moon could hear as Icicle flew away. She saw that the Icewing was planning to find Queen Scarlet and complete her mission somehow. The dragonets were far from safe. Behind the desk, Quibbly groaned, and Moon darted over to him as he sat up gingerly. His pale yellow scales were dented and bruised, and his amber earring had been nearly torn out of his ear, making a small racked tear where the hole had been. Sixclaw said it was idiotic to get this, he thought, touching his earring with a winch. Can't believe I let an Icewing knock me out. Thorn would be unimpressed. I should have started with a fireburst to her face, but I thought she was going to attack Moon, and I just jumped in without thinking. Stupid, impulsive, everything Moon says I need to learn to fix. Moon reached toward him and then hesitated. Can I? She asked. He met her eyes and nodded. She took one of his warm talons in hers and gently felt his hand. There was a sizable bump over one eye, and a couple of claw marks slashed across his chest. But nothing as bad as she'd feared, considering Icicle's formidable claws. "That's right," Quibbly said. He tried to stand up, flinched, and then sat down again. "She'd better run. I was just resting for part 2. The crushing. Where do I get some... Where I do some crushing, and it's very impressive. I think I better lay down now." "Looks like you'll live," she said to him, relieved. "As will you," said Darkstalker, sounding pleased. "At least for now. Tomorrow." "Let's not think about tomorrow right this second," Moon suggested. "And by the way, thank you." Moon sat with Sunny as night fell on the tallest peak of Jade Mountain, watching a storm approach. A wall of rain was visible to the south, sweeping slowly toward them. Patches of blue sky still peeked through the building banks of dark grey clouds. The wind seemed to carry the faraway scent of dragonfire, ocean spray, and the rainforest. Moon wrapped her wings around herself, shivering as the breeze picked up, and small raindrops began to fall. Sunny had her tail tucked around her back talons and was pressing her front talons together. Her strange grey-green eyes were fixed on the line of the desert they could still faintly see to the west. "Poor Sora," she said. "Queen Mohine and Queen Ruby will be looking for her. Poor everybody, really, even Icicle. I mean, if Queen Scarlet had clay, I don't know what I'd do." "There's one more thing I have to tell you," Moon said. "I'm not sure this is wise," Darkstalker interjected. "I'm not going to hide anymore," she answered, "even if that means giving up a little safety. Or, alright, a lot of safety. You've made a point." She took a deep breath. I can read minds and see the future." "Oh dear," Sunny thought immediately, her face creasing with skepticism. "Another fate speaker." "It's true," Moon said. She explained about the full moons, and about how she'd hidden her powers from everyone, and about how she'd used them to overhear Icicle and Scarlet and foresee the fire. When she finished, Sunny's thoughts were a lot less skeptical. "That's a kind of huge secret to have kept for so long," she said, studying Moon's eyes. "It must have been hard." Moon nodded. There was a pause, and then Sunny said... "Can you tell what I'm thinking right now?" "Sure." Moon shook her wings, tilting her head to Sunny. "You're wondering how Tsunami would react to this. You don't think she'll believe me, and part of you is worrying about Starflight and hoping Fate Speaker will take care of him properly." Sunny arched her brows, startled. "But mostly," Moon hurried on, "you're thinking about the school and wondering if it's already failed. You're thinking about giving up and sending everyone home. Because it's only the first week and all these terrible things have happened. You're wondering if bringing peace to all the tribes is too hard, and if you're not the right dragon for the job." "Wow," Sunny said faintly. "But you are," Moon blurted. "You can't give up. Of course it's hard. The whole point is that you're trying to fix something that's nearly impossible to fix. But if no one ever even tries, then it will be terrible always. You and Clay and the others, dragons believe in you. You have to take that gift and do something with it, not run away from it." Darkstalker said significantly. "I know, I hear myself," she said. "Was that a prophecy?" Sunny said hopefully. "Did you see us changing the world? Like 5 eggs to hatch on brightest night, 5 dragons born to teach history and art and get everyone to calm down and be nice to each other?" Moon laughed. "When the school has lasted 20 years, the tribes will be at peace?" She shook her head. "No, it's not a prophecy. It's just faith." Sunny nodded. I know all about that. And if we make our own destiny, that's what I want mine to be, she thought. Let's go back inside before those clouds really open up on us. She reached out and touched Moon's shoulders. Thank you for telling me all that, Moon. I mean, about your powers and everything. They flew down to the Great Hall, where Moon found Kinkajou and Quibbly waiting for her. Quibbly ran over and threw her wings around Moon. Her frantic, relieved thoughts seemed to bounce wildly along Moon's scales. Alive! Friends! Heroes! A birding strategy and saving the day! Quibbly told me what happened, she said. I can't believe I missed it all. I can't believe I wasn't there to protect you. You're totally heroes, saving us all from the bad guys. Although I'm kind of confused about who's the bad guy and who I should be mad at. But Sora, what? But also, Icicle's totally scary, and then saving her brother. So I get it. But still, attacking my winglet, my best friend, not okay. Best friend? After everything? I thought you were mad at me, Moon said. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw Sunny slipping away with a wave. I was, but that was yesterday, Kinkajou said. She released Moon and stepped back, gleaming gold and pink with blue all over her spine. I mean, I realize it's not that big a deal. I kind of say everything I'm thinking anyway, right? She grinned. Or if you hear something you shouldn't, that's kind of worse for you than me, I figure. And I was thinking, if you promise to tell me all your secrets from now on, then it won't matter if you know all mine, right? Moon smiled back, but thought uncomfortably of Darkstalker. Stop, he said. I can see all the bad decisions you're about to make. Don't do it, Moon. Where's Turtle? Moon asked, ignoring him. Here, he said, stepping out of the shadows. She hadn't noticed the quiet buzz of his mind beyond the clamor of Kinkajou's thoughts. Can I see your armband? She asked. Inside her head, Darkstalker sighed. I literally can't see any future where I can throw you out of this. Oh, good, Moon thought. Then take a break and don't try. Ooh, sassy girl! Turtle slid the golden band down and over his talons and handed it to her. The silence instantly fell over everything, and Moon shivered. It was such a lonely feeling. How did other dragons live like this? All the time. She studied the black rocks studded around the armband. There were 6 of them, smaller than onyx's stone, but they were all the same, scorched-looking black, with flecks of silver and otherworldly metals. Where did these stones come from? She asked Turtle. Oh, it's kind of a cool story, he said. I was out swimming at night with a few of my brothers a while ago. It's great to see at night with all the stars. And then we were watching the comet that was so bright, remember? And then I saw something like a trail of fire fall from the sky into the ocean. No one else wanted to come search for it with me, so I figured I could keep what I found, which was this big chunk of black rock that had fallen all the way to the seafloor. It wasn't hard to find, actually. It sent the water all around it a whole lot harder. Anyway, I took a few bits that had broken off and had them made into that armband. Skyfire, Moon said, passing it back to him. She had a brief, intensely curious impulse to give the armband to Quibbly for a minute, so she could hear what Turtle was thinking and maybe find out his secret. But that was exactly the kind of thing she needed them to trust her not to do. And that's what Onyx calls it. She has a piece of it too. Quibbly went still, looking at her. He was already figuring out what she was going to say. She turned to include Kinkajou as well. It turns out that Skyfire can block mind reading. I discovered that today while we were talking to Onyx. That's why I can't read her or Turtle. If you're wearing this rock, I can't hear your thoughts at all. She faced Turtle again. I was hoping if it's alright with you, Turtle, I wondered if Kinkajou and Quibbly and Winter could each have one of these rocks. You're all my friends, my winglet, and I want you to have a way to keep your secrets, your thoughts private. Kinkajou leaped up and hugged her again. Very cool, Quibbly said, giving her a smile. That explains a lot, Turtle said. He started picking up the stones in the band. Of course they can have them. I'll take Winter his and explain everything, Moon said with a deep breath. Actually, Quibbly said, I have bad news. Moon saw it in his mind. She couldn't believe she hadn't picked it out of the torrent of his thoughts before. Oh no, really? She said. What? Kinkajou asked. What? It's Winter, Quibbly said. I checked our cave for him an hour ago. He's gone. End of chapter 23. Only one chapter and an epilogue left of the book. Anyway. Oh, the next book is from Winter's perspective. Ooh, which means we get to see where he's gone. He's obviously gone after his sister to try and stop her, I'm pretty sure. Chapter 24. Gone? Kinkajou cried with dismay. Wait, where'd he go? I don't know, but Bandit's cage is missing too, Quibbly said, so I don't think he's coming back. Oh, Turtle said, I saw him leaving, but I thought he was just going hunting. I should have stopped him. He managed to pry 2 rocks free and handed one to Quibbly, then another to Kinkajou. Their thoughts fussed out into that quiet hum as they slipped the rocks into the library card pouches around their necks. Moon could still hear dragons elsewhere in the school, but she knew she'd miss listening to Quibbly and Kinkajou. I'll just have to listen better to what they actually say, she promised herself. Which way was he going? Moon asked Turtle. Northwest, toward the forest that's between the mountains and the desert, he said. Where are you going? Moon was heading for the mouth of the cave, where they could see sheets of rain pouring down. I'm going to find him, she said. In this weather? Turtle protested. Ooh, yay! Kinkajou cried. Me too! Are you sure? Moon said to her, waving one wing at the storm outside. I understand if you don't. I'm a rain wing, Kinkajou said. It rains all the time in the rainforest. Trust me, I can handle it. I'm not sure I can, Quibbly said, rubbing the back of his head, but I'm coming with you anyway. Kinkajou looked expectantly at Turtle. He shuffled his feet, flickering his glow-in-the-dark scales nervously. In this weather, he said again. Come on, Turtle, she said. We're a winglet. We're all that's left of the jade winglet. We should stick together. Also, how can you be bothered by a little water? You live in it. You can actually breathe it. You'll be fine. She bumped his hip hard enough to overbalance him, and he took a staggering step sideways. It's different, he objected. Swimming is not the same as trying to fly while getting blown about and whacked in the face with little balls of water and also lightning. Have we talked about the lightning? Wait, if I lean... Oh, okay. It's okay if I lean over here. Good. He's coming too, Kinkajou said to Moon. Turtle sighed in defeat. None of you have to do this, Moon said. I feel like I owe it to him. He's our classmate, Quibbly pointed out. Also, I'm a total expert on evil brothers and sisters. And I'm coming to keep you safe, Kinkajou said. Don't argue with me, I'm very menacing. She turned her wings black and bared her teeth, but the pink scales that remained rather undercut the effect. Moon smiled at them. Alright, she said, let's go. It seemed as though they flew for hours before they reached the outskirts of the forest, and then they spent forever circling over the trees. Moon kept thinking she heard a distant whisper that sounded like winter, but the force and fury of the storm drowned out even the noise in her head. Maybe we should go back, Turtle shouted to her as they did another pass over a clearing she was sure they'd flown over 3 times. Maybe he's halfway to the Ice Kingdom already. I don't think so, Quibbly called back. Not with Bandit. He wouldn't fly too far with that gauge. Scavengers don't handle this kind of weather as well as we do. Turtle made a would rather not handle this weather either myself face and tried to shake some of the rain off his waterlogged wings. Wait! Moon cried, grabbing Kinkaju's tail. I heard him! This way! She swooped toward the trees, half blinded by the downpour. A gust of wind blew her sideways at the wrong moment, and she collided with the top of a tree. But she righted herself and dropped down through the branches to the forest floor. The others followed, one by one, as she led the way through the dark forest. Suddenly she stopped to listen to a voice up ahead. Go on. Get out of here. I know it's raining, but it's better than the Ice Kingdom, trust me. Winter! Kinkaju yelped. That's him! Moon breathed a plume of fire, and it reflected off silvery scales in a clearing to their right. They hurried over and found Winter crouched beside his scavenger's cave. The door was open, and Bandit stood at the edge, staring bleakly out at the huge dark forest and the storm. By all the snow monsters, what are you doing here? Winter demanded, flapping his wet wings. Looking for you, Moon said. And we found you, Kinkaju added. We're amazing. He turned his head to look at Bandit, avoiding their eyes. I'm not going back to Jade Mountain, he said. I'm going to look for my brother. I thought so, Moon said. We want to help you. We do? Turtle said, sounding alarmed. Yes, Kinkaju said. I didn't know we did, but now I totally do. Wait, came the voice of Darkstalker, faint and whispery. Moon, please don't leave me. She hadn't thought of that. That if she went with Winter wherever he meant to go, she'd be flying out of Darkstalker's range. He wouldn't be able to communicate with her anymore. He'll be all alone. I'm afraid I'll go mad, he said, with no one to talk to. No way to know if you're alright. For the first time ever, his surface cracked and she saw past what she wanted her to see. Beneath the funny, confident, commanding voice she knew, she felt a deep hole, and all the way down the hole reverberated the infinite loneliness. A moment later, Darkstalker pulled his guard back up, and she was left skating on his conversational thoughts again. I'll come back, she promised, feeling hugely sorry for him. And listen, while I'm out there, I can look for your talisman. Will you? He asked. Really? I will try. Winter was shaking his head. You can't come with me, he said. I'm going to Queen Glacier. I need to explain it all to her and get her to help me find Hailstorm. Wouldn't it make more sense to go to the Sky Kingdom? Kinkaju asked. Your brother must be imprisoned there somewhere, right? We could look for him in, like, all the mountain caves or something. Or you could go after Icicle, Quibbly said, try and find out more about what Scarlet told her. I don't know where she's gone, Winter said bitterly. I have a guess, Quibbly said with a glance at Kinkaju. You won't like it though. I think she's gone to the rainforest. I know the one Scarlet hates the most is Glory. Everyone knows that. If they know the story of what Glory did to her face. So I think Icicle might think that if she kills Glory, Scarlet will forgive her for failing to kill the others. There was a hushed silence, broken by the patter of raindrops and a roll of thunder overhead. Then I am going to the rainforest, Kinkaju said fiercely. I'm not letting her kill my awesome queen. Which is the right way? Moon wondered. Where should we go? If only Darkstalker could tell them. This seemed like exactly the right time for a vision of the future. Are you sure? He asked. Yes. Can you tell us how to find her? Moon asked. No, he said, but I've been trying to protect you from this. And if you're leaving my range, then I won't be able to anymore. What? Moon started to ask, but then suddenly a headache hit her like nothing she'd ever felt before. Like an entire tribe of dragons descended on her head with their claws out. She staggered back with a cry, and the others whirled toward her. Moon? Kinkajou leaped over, colliding wetly with her in the dark. Her scales were slick with raindrops as she tried to hold Moon up. But Moon couldn't stand. The weight of the vision was bearing down on her. It was everything from her nightmare. The mountain falling, the dragons dying, the fire and earth cracking, and destruction. Words were marching through her head. Words were marching through her head and out of her mouth. Inexorable and strange. Beware the darkness of dragons. Beware the stalker of dreams. Beware the talents of power and fire. Beware of who is not what she seems. Something is coming to shake the earth. Something is coming to scorch the ground. Jade Mountain will fall beneath thunder and ice unless the lost city of night can be found. She choked for a moment on the last line, as though it were coming out edged with thorns. But at last it was said, and she collapsed into Kinkajou's wings, and the vision disappeared, taking the headache with it. By all the snakes, Quibbly said. Thunder rolled across the sky again, and lightning flashed, illuminating the scared faces around her. What was that? That's what you've been muttering in your sleep, Kinkajou said. It sounded like a prophecy, Winter said disbelievingly. Moon forced herself to stand up, although her wings were shaking so hard she thought they might fall off. Turtle, she said, please give him one of the rocks. Winter eyed the small black stones with suspicion as Turtle dropped it on his palm. What's this? I have a lot to explain, she said. Everything, the whole truth. I'm going to tell you everything. Everything? Darkstalker said with a distant sigh. That sounds ominous, Winter said. No more ominous than Jade Mountain will fall beneath thunder and ice, Quibbly said. I hope we're all planning to talk about that, because I'm extremely unsettled right now. She said we have to find the lost city of night, Kinkajou said. That's all, and then everything will be fine, right? Isn't that what everyone else heard? I am pretty sure I heard that we're all going to die. Turtle said, death, death, monsters everywhere, death. Is that it? Quibbly asked Moon. Is that what you saw? Jade Mountain is going to fall on us all? I don't know, Moon said. I've had visions, but none of them ever come out in words like that before. I don't know what it means. Probably means it's important, Darkstalker offered. Thank you, that's very helpful, she retorted. Does it mean what I saw is inevitable? No, there's another possible future, he said, but it's a long, very difficult and dark path. She closed her eyes. Can I see that one? Is it awful too? In response, she felt a slow, spreading pain through her temples, and a moment later a vision appeared. It looked like Jade Mountain Academy, but somehow different. Sunlight poured through the windows as she moved through the caves. Small dragonettes she didn't know, each of them a different color, played a game of chase in the sky. She came into the library, and the dragon at the desk raised his head, listening. It was Starflight, but he was older, radiating happiness and peace. A small black dragonette raced through the cave, leaped onto the desk, kissed the side of his head, took one of the scrolls, and flew off down another tunnel, calling, "Thank you, Father!" "No flying in the tunnels," he called after her. but he was smiling. Clay, older, bigger Clay, poked his head in through another entrance and said, "My class is asking for more scrolls about the War of Sandwing Succession. I thought maybe you could come talk at them instead, and maybe they'll go to sleep and stop asking me questions." "Ha ha, hilarious," Starflight said, sliding out from behind the desk. "Firefly, just put that back when you're done, alright?" Over by the window bay, a dark purple dragonette answered. "Sure," absent-mindedly. She was curled up with two other dragons, a blue and a deep orange-brown. One blue and one a deep orange-brown Moon had never seen before. They had a scroll spread out in front of them and were studying it together. "Can you imagine?" said the blue one. "The tribes hated each other so much back then." "It's a good thing we're so much smarter than all the dragons who lived before us," said the purple one importantly. "We'd never make their mistakes." "I'm glad we're here, though," said the third dragonette. "At the Jade Mountain Academy. I'm glad it exists." "Me too," the others said in unison. The vision faded quietly away. "That's what we're fighting for," Moon thought. "Thank you, Darkstalker." "I can help you make it real," he said. Remember that when you can't hear me anymore." Moon felt the rain splattering against her wings. She looked around at her friends, all of the minds humming quietly, closed off. She wasn't a scared dragonette alone in the rainforest anymore. She was a mind reader and a prophet. And she had a prophecy to fulfill, an Icewing to rescue, a talisman to find, a possible supervillain to release or not, and a world to save, even though it didn't know it needed saving yet. No more hiding. "Winter," she said, "there are a few things you need to know about me." End of chapter 24. Now we only have the epilogue left. Well, that's certainly an interesting prophecy. A real one this time. Epilogue. Frog spit and goat tongues. Queen Scarlet cursed. She shook the sapphire in her talons violently. "Why isn't it working?" "It probably is," her companion said smoothly. "The dragon you're looking for must still be awake." Scarlet glared at him. The vast black sky wheeled over their heads, studded with stars like diamonds. The three moons lit up the toothy peaks of the mountains all around them. "It's the middle of the night. Why wouldn't she be asleep? I gave her an ultimatum. I need to know what's happening there." He shrugged, tapped something between his front talons. Tap, tap. "So try a different dragon." She wrapped her claws around the blue stone again, growling to herself. "Has to be someone I know," she muttered, "but I don't want those dragonettes to see where I am." After a moment, she closed her eyes. "All right, an old favorite." Great. It only took a minute for her to drop into Peril's dreams. As usual, it was tortured and weird, and with several Queen Scarlets chasing her through the Sky Palace, with corpses of burnt dragons lurched out of various doorways to attack her. Scarlet snorted. What was the point of being a glorious monster with talons of fire if you were going to agonize over it so much? Peril's power was absolutely wasted on her. "Stop!" she roared, planting herself in Peril's path. Peril skidded to a halt and looked frantically around. She thought Scarlet was another one of the Dream Queens. She'd always had trouble figuring out when Scarlet was really visiting her, which could be useful, especially at times like this. "Who died today?" Scarlet demanded. "Tell me, who is dead?" "No one!" Peril cried. "I didn't kill anyone, I swear!" "Stop blithering," Scarlet growled. "Someone must have died today at that ludicrous school." Peril shook her head wildly. No one is dead. Clay is safe, and that's what's important. No one is dead. Oh, Mudwing and an Icewing are gone, but they're still alive, not dead. No one is dead." Scarlet hissed. She yanked the sapphire away from her head, snapping abruptly out of Peril's dream. "I'm going to murder that Icewing," she yelled. "This is not thrilling at all." "She failed," said the other dragon. He shifted from shadow to moonlight, his scales rippling in strange moonlit colors. Tap, tap, tap. How surprising. "Should I kill your prisoner?" "Yes," Scarlet hissed. "Wait, no." She paced along the ledge, fuming. If she let Hailstorm live, Icicle would stop being frightened of her. Her threats would mean nothing. But if she killed him, she'd have lost her only a bit of leverage on a very useful pawn. Tap, tap, tap. Of course, Icicle wasn't the only dragon who wanted this particular prisoner back. There was another brother, wasn't there? But Scarlet had never seen him. How could she get into his dreams? Was there another way to get to him? Or someone else who had killed the dragonettes? "I should do it myself," she muttered. She knew that. Every time she thought about that Rainwing, the jaw extended horribly, the fangs pointed straight at her, and the venom flying toward her face, it gave her a sick, squashed feeling that reminded her of melted scales. It wasn't fear, exactly. She would never say that. But if she could find a way to kill them from a distance, or at least glory, that would be preferable, certainly. "Stop that infernal tapping!" she roared. "What is it anyhow? What are you fiddling with in your horrid, gloaty way?" "Oh, this?" The dragon lifted an ancient scroll into the moonlight, looked up at it and smiled. "Don't you worry, this is nothing." That's Darkstalker's scroll! Oh crap! That was the end of the epilogue. Oh crap! Oh no! Okay. Well, the next book looks like this. Winter Turning, and it's from the perspective of Winter. Oh dear! I'm excited to start that on Monday. Oh, come on. Oh my god. So yeah, we'll start that on Monday, and tomorrow we'll be playing more Undertale, the genocide route. Okay. I did have serious talk in my title as well. I'm pretty sure they're not here. The person it was meant for. And I don't think they'll watch the VOD. But it was about, like, me not being, like, a teacher or anything. Because, obviously I would love to educate them on LGBT stuff. But I've only been in the community a couple of years after I found Thomas Sanders' channel, and then accepted myself and let myself know that it's okay that I'm a lesbian and there's nothing wrong with me. And yeah. I've done, ever since I found his channel, a new world has been opened up to me, and oh, I should probably actually. You couldn't hear what I said because I didn't have the freaking mic on that scene. Great. But yeah, so I'll just stay on this one. But I'd say doing research yourself and reading about other people's experiences with their sexuality and gender identity is one of the best ways to learn about the community when you have so many questions. And it's me, I'm bringing this up mainly because they keep asking about, especially gender identity. Like, how would you know an animal is a boy or a girl? How can we assume the cat's gender, but I can't assume humans' gender? And they keep bringing that up in my streams, even though it has nothing to do with what I'm doing on my stream. So please, questions like that should only be asked, I'd say, if what I'm doing is somehow related to that. Which reading a book about dragons really isn't related to that at all. But I talked to my friends about it a bit. And one had a sarcastic comment about it. That, oh yeah, because cats totally have a complex understanding of gender. They have also socially constructed genders like us humans. Yes, totally. So that's the last I'm going to say about that. And yes, that was a sarcastic mic. That is how I know my cats are boys. And my dog is a girl. But I mean, there are a lot of animal species out there that actually has transgender animals. Like the clownfish, they will change their gender if there are no females in their group. I don't know what that's called. A group of clownfish. A school of clownfish. So yeah. And although I would love to like educate people about LGBT stuff, like sexuality, gender, and all that, I'm just not the right person to do it, even though I have a different gender identity and sexuality than cishet people. I'm just not the one. I am an extreme introvert. I am not like my dad. I'm not like my sister. My dad is a school teacher. Has been for the past 30 years. And my sister has been thinking about it and is also part-time teaching kids in school. Like just music and stuff. But like, I'm nothing like them. I can't teach. I'm an introvert. I literally can't teach people about something unless I know 100% about it and I got their full attention and everything. And obviously I don't know 100% about gender identities and all that. That's why it's called research. I'm still doing research in it. And yeah. I mean, there is a reason why I have said that I keep calling myself the extreme black sheep of the family, because I do not want to work with people. I do not want to have a job where I have to work closely with people. Like, I want to work with animals, not people. It's always been that way for me. I'm more comfortable around animals than people. Even though psychology is a pretty cool subject as well. Just saying. I might take that up as a major. In university. But biology is the main focus of me. For me. Of course I'll have human contact, but like, it's not that much human contact I'll need to have. But yeah, I'm just not the one to teach you about this stuff, and I thought I made it pretty clear in that drawing stream where it came up, where I tried to educate about different genders, but again, I'm not the person to do that. I am not good at teaching anything, even though I know a lot about it. I'm just not good at learning from me. To like, you know, being a teacher-ish person, an educational person. And like, that's not what my channel is. That's not what I do here. I'm just here to read books, play some games, learn to draw digitally, and just have fun with you guys. I mean, I'm still going to bring up gay rights, trans rights, and all that jazz. But not to the extent of, you know, education. Because that's not something I'm good at. I wish I was. Really, I wish I was. But I'm not the best person to go to for that. Even though I have done quite a bit of research in the past few years about it. But yeah, that's... It's fine if you like have a bit of questions, but just don't consistently come into every stream and ask about that specific topic when I'm not doing anything like that on stream. Yeah. But yeah, I really hope you can understand that, okay? Because, like, I don't want to ignore anyone in chat, but I've been having to ignore them because that person and their messages in chat, their questions in chat about it, because it made me uncomfortable, and I don't really like to address that because there's a kid, they're just a kid that wants to learn. And honestly, I have nothing against that. Just don't come into every stream and specifically ask about that, because I'm not that kind of channel. Okay. I really hope you can understand that. Like I don't want to ignore them. I hate ignoring people. But I've been having to do that in the past few streams they've been in, because that's all they ask about. That's all they talk about in chat. So, and I don't want to like ban them or anything, or put them in timeout, because of course they haven't done anything wrong. They're just a kid. They want to learn. But please, if you see this, please, yeah, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not an educational channel. I'm sure there are a lot of LGBT educational channels out there who could most likely answer your questions, all the questions you have. And I'm sure if I was more of an extrovert and knew how to formulate myself educationally, then sure, I would answer your questions. I just can't. That's not the kind of person I am. Sorry. But yeah. And also, don't come into my reading streams and say what I'm doing is boring, because I've had a couple of those people saying, this is boring, do something else. Like, what? Then just leave if you don't like what I'm doing. I read because I enjoy it. I enjoy doing voices and everything. And reading, it's one of my passions, and I really love this series. So, yeah. But I'm glad I haven't had any jackasses in my chat for like over a week now. That's kind of amazing, but I haven't had any follows in over a week now either, so. Except the one today. Thank you for that. You can't see that. But yeah. I will... That was, well, let's say that was it for today. No more serious talk anything, alright? I'll be streaming some Undertale tomorrow. Genocide Route. We still have to meet Metaton. We have a lot of monsters to kill. We have to meet Metaton. That's probably what we'll be doing tomorrow. I don't know how tough Metaton is. Or if he's as tough as Undyne, or... I don't know. But yeah. But I hope you can understand me with that bit of serious talk there. Anyway, I will see you all tomorrow. So remember to hydrate, don't dehydrate. If you do, I will come after you. Remember to treat others the way you want them to treat you. Just be kind overall, and I will see you all tomorrow.